Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldis and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show. Holy Toledo's. It's got to be some kind of record. Cleaning up between shows today with my Dyson cordless vacuum. That'll suck the paint off a trailer hitch. That thing pulls so hard. I'm sure you guys know how that joke goes. Anyhow, we're down here at the Friday Night Flies headquarters at the Spud Valley Sporting Goods shop here in downtown Pemberton, 1380 Birch Street. I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew, and the creative juices are flowing. I've got 3 original patterns. One was, I got a little bit of help from a friend, but these are all 3 magnificent patterns. I'm pretty excited to try them out myself, and like we said in the past 2 videos, today is a special day. It is my brother Sheridan's birthday. 42 today. Happy birthday, brother. But today we've got a very, very fishy little pattern here. What do we call this one? The steelhead egg-sucking worm instead of the leech. Because if you ever seen a plastic worm by Mad River or by Hawkins Fishing, it's not going to look too far off from this little pattern right here. Tonight I'm going to do a little bit different, because this was like one of the first ones I tied. I've tied about 2 or 3 of these ones, and we did a few different color variations. But when it comes to steelhead, there are some go-to colors, and hot pink just happens to be one of my go-tos, and it should be one of yours as well. Depending on the water clarity and the color, and if it's bright out or if it's dark out, you're going to go from hot pink to the polar opposites. You're going to go as dark as you can go to as bright as you can go, or you're going to have a contrast between dark and hot and dull and sharp, and that's kind of where we've been having our success. And if we're having success, I imagine other people are having success doing the same thing too. So what we have here is our version of the steelhead worm with a beautiful bead on it. But this one, since I'm running low on the hot pink beads, we're gonna rock a metallic red, similar to the one that we just did with the Cosby. And I think it's going to give it a little bit different look, a little different feel. I'm going to fish the both of them, and we will report back to you as to which one we like better. But I think that's going to look pretty sharp with the metallic red. Maybe I'll get the cameraman to give me a quick hand here so we can go down to camera 4. We'll give this a slow roll. We're live here at Spud Valley Sporting Goods, 1380 Birch Street. There's people in here shopping, but the show must go on. There you have it. Them silly legs, or the crazy legs, they got some nice flow. And that's exactly what they're going to do when they're in the water. They're going to be everywhere saying, "Look at me, steelhead, I'm delicious." So you're seeing this pattern, you're probably like, "Oh, whatever." But I'm just going to get it wet. I'm going to show you what it does when it gets wet. And I don't want to get my table all wet. But you see how that thing kind of collapsed and turned into a worm? I mean, you get all that air and it doesn't really collapse that much. But that does look a whole lot different, doesn't it, cameraman? It's going to look a whole lot fishier when it's wet. So let's get started. We'll show you this quick recipe. So we're starting out with a salmon hook size. It's a salmon single size 1 by Mustad. Some of the best hooks on the market right there, and they've been really good to us in the past, helping us sponsor the show, and we definitely like to thank them. Thank you, Mustad. You guys are a great company that work with great people. And by saying great people, I mean myself and Friday Night Flies crew. There we go. So that's as low as I'm going to get it in that vise. Going to 3/0 uni thread in pink. We're going to lay down a little bit of thread on the base of this hook at Mach speed. You don't want to go past the bend of the hook. And the only reason that I'm throwing it in there, I'm not filling in the holes all that great, but it's more just grit, something for the fly tie materials to bind to. Dr. Slick scissors, best on the market. Now, where's my prototype? There it is. We're going to the pink zonker strip, and we're going to measure up the length of your shank, rough and dirty. And slide your super sharp scissors in underneath, trying not to trap too much of the fibers. Cut that guy off, and similar to the Cosby, we're going to cut a taper into the rabbit strip, just so that it doesn't bulk up your shank too much when you go to lay everything else in there. So there it is, the nice taper. You're seeing it, ladies and gentlemen, first right here at Friday Night Flies. Get all that loose fibers out. Make sure you breathe them in. The nice thing about being down here Time Flies on a Friday night is that I got flies to spare now for the weekend. That rabbit strip is so nice and soft, man. Like, it's almost hard to get it to form to the hook. Okay, so all we're doing is just putting it onto the back of the hook. You don't want to go into the shank, like into the curve of the hook, because what it'll do is it'll make your tail sit like that. It'll look goofy as all hell. So that's locked down. Now, what we're going to do, similar to the Cosby, we're going to get back into the pink crystal flash. 3 strands is all it takes. Cut them in half, put 3 on one side and 3 down the other side. This is pretty easy to overpower a fly with this crystal flash. It'll overtake a fly pretty quick if you let it. Alright, down the side. And we're cutting it off by pulling the tail back just past the end of that rabbit fur. Cut her off. Roll it over, other side, and duplicate. Back past the tip of the tail, right there, and cut it off. Now, rolling her back down. This is actually a pretty simple fly to tie. Super simple. But I imagine I'm probably going to forget something. So, we're going to UV dyed polar chenille in hot pink. UV stuff. I'll hit it with a UV light afterwards just to show you how hot this stuff is. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Back up. We're going to use the rotary features of our vise. So we're going to throw a quick whip finish in behind that bead. Bring your bobbin cradle over, lay it on there. And we're not going to be too finicky about how we lay this on there. We're just going to fire it up, cover the shank, and all the way up and behind the bead. Bada bing, bada boom. And then we're going to lock that down. We're going to try and do an under 10-minute fly here. Once you get this stuff laid out, the big thing here is that you can sit there and polymer everything, pull it out of the way, pull it out of the way, pull it out of the way, or you can just get down and dirty and then pick it out with your Velcro strip, which does a really good job of it. Simple, right? Looks just as deadly. So now we're just going to make sure that everything's nice and tight in behind that bead. We're going to get down dirty with our silly legs, or actually these are actually crazy legs. I really don't know that much what the difference is between silly legs and rubber legs, and I don't know. There's so many different kinds of rubber legs out there nowadays. It's hard to stay on top of all of them. But silly legs and crazy legs, they are pretty similar. So we got 2. Rip it off the top, rip it off the bottom. Fold it in half, match up the tips, take your sharp scissors, hook her in like so, cut them, take one half, lay it on your side, and I'm going to lay the other half on your side. Pretty straightforward stuff. So the nice thing about this stuff is you try to pull a little bit of it back. You don't want to lock any more than you have to. In behind that bead, right tight. Couple wraps. We're going to go to your side, do the same thing. Telling you right now, this pattern I think is going to be one of my new favorites when it comes to steelhead flies. Okay, rubber leg, get in your home. Okay, so with the last one that we tied there, the demo, I put a fairly big collar in behind that bead, and I didn't really like the look of it. You can see what I'm talking about, right? So I'm not going to put that big collar in behind it, especially having a new different color bead. I'm going to keep it nice and tight. So I'm going to do that, but then I'm also going to go in front of the bead, and I'm going to add a little bit of a taper to the front, because there is quite a bit there, and that's also going to stop that bead from moving around. Because the way I want to fish this pattern here is right on the bottom. Like, it's got to be banking bottom, because if you've steelhead fished as much as I have, there's a certain zone for winter steelhead that is going to produce fish for you, and that's right down near the bottom. So now you could fish it the way it is there, like that, but we're going to take this thread, and I'm just going to put a little bit of a what's up on the front here, taper in the front. You're going to see it's going to look pretty cool. Thank my good man here, Jeff Dobie. He showed me this little trick this morning. There we go. Now taper it out, make it look pretty. So I don't know. You can tell me if you like it or not. I think it looks pretty damn sexy. It looks hot, but it's not finished right now. Just wait until we finish this up. I'll show you. Right? So that guy's nice and tight with a nice whip finish. And this is where it's going to be bedazzled. We go over for the great company Solarez, and we're going to give this a little bit of what up. Takes a little bit to get down through that straw, that little stainless steel straw. There you are. Just wait until you see how this transforms this thread. And it armors it, man, literally. It becomes somewhat bulletproof. Doesn't that make that look a whole lot different, cameraman?
Yeah.
Wowzers. Makes it flow like good hockey hair. Okay, there it is. Lock her down. That bead is not going to move now. I'm telling you. That bead is there till eternity. But like we were saying, UV materials. Look at that. Can you see that's probably making it glow pretty hot. It's popping. There you go. The steelhead egg sucking worm. I'll take that UV light off it. You probably can see it now. It was probably just too much. It was overbearing. Solarez, complete those flies, make them look dead sexy. It's like I took a strawberry and put it on the end of that hook. Doesn't it look? It makes me want to eat that damn thing. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, that's my last fly for today. That's three magical steelhead flies for you, and you. Let's go back up top camera. Anyhow, I'm Brad Knowles, aka the Fish Finder. If you guys want to put some of these beautiful flies to their test, give us a call. Pretty easy. If you can't spell Pemberton Fish Finder, you can look us also up at flyfishing.tours. That's a pretty easy one. You can. I hope you can spell fly fishing and tours. Flyfishing.tours. Anyhow, that takes us. That'll take you over to our website, Pemberton Fish Finder. Fishing's happening, man. We're catching fish. We don't really like to show too many pictures online right now, just for the simple reason that it's the river's busy enough as it is, and we can talk about it, but I might sneak a few pictures in there a little later in the season. But anyhow, it's steelhead season. Coastal cutthroat are in there. Tie a few of these up tonight. We'll see you on the river this weekend. Signing out.